Hello, hello. This is the very, very first introductory podcast of Ninar and Katrien. Ninar and I met a couple of years ago, and through our conversations, we decided that it might be a very good idea to share our opinions on life, on lifestyle, on health, on beauty, but also on all kinds of issues that are related to us women in our 40s and our 50s. Ninar, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our public?
Hi, Katrien. Hi, everyone watching us. My name is Ninar, and as Katrien mentioned, we met. We were introduced actually by a colleague of mine and someone I've collaborated with and continue to collaborate with, Dr. Scott, Katrien's husband, who thought we'd have a lot of common ground and things to discuss together, and introduced us. And the rest is history. So, but really, as you mentioned, Katrien, you the takeaway of this friendship, which is maybe new, compared to people's friendships that last and come from young age. But that's what's good about it, because how many new friendships can you have in this very modern day? And this busy lifestyle, this lonely lifestyle. So we thought, like, we always had these great deep conversations, which are also very rare to have, and we decided, why not share them with a community that we'd love to build, and women being there for each other, just like we were there for each other, and through a very recent friendship. So we thought, if we can do it despite differences, also because we have differences, then I think we believe in the power of support and what it brings to everyone, and we feel this is going to be a safe space for so many women, just like we were for one another, and we had other people supporting us as well. So, but I want to ask you, it's always funny to hear the other person's version of how we met. It kind of tells you the impression they had on you.
Yes, yes. So we actually, yes, we did meet through Dr. Scott, who is my husband, and who did an interview with Ninar on Chinese TV on COVID-19. And in one of the conversations with you, Ninar, Scott had mentioned that I had gone through some health issues and you had gone through some serious health issues. And he said, oh, you and Nina or you and Katrien, you should just get together and you should just talk to one another. And so it happened. And we realized that even though we are from a different culture and we have a different age, because I'm in my late 50s and you are, I believe, in
25.
your mid 40s, late 40s, mid 40s, in between there somewhere. So there's a good 10 years between us, but we still had a lot of similarities between our lives.
We
And we
do.
talked about women, right? We talked about women a lot and women issues.
And actually, I
Go
want to
ahead.
also add that it was Dr. Scott who even saw and recognized the similarities, because he said, "Oh, and my wife speaks French." So,
Yes.
despite the difference in culture, we have that same European educational background. Me coming from Lebanon, being, having a European French education, being from a country that is exposed to the West, a Mediterranean country, but with deep ties with Europe, with France. We have all of that in common that reflects in so many subjects. We're not going to reveal them all to you. We'll be discussing
No.
gradually, and gradually you'll get
Yeah.
to hear about those things. And also, of the similarities as well, is the fact that we're both immigrants in the US. We weren't born and raised in the US, and that was a whole different challenge that we kind of despite the age difference, despite the civil status, you married with children, me single, we lived the same things, whether the cultural shocks or what we enjoy, what we still feel as though we're you know uh in an adopted home and not really like home. It's these are things that brought us together, but again, not to undermine that, even though the differences also brought us together, because I think the base here, what do you think, or how do you think the differences brought us together also? You think it's
I
just
think
because being a woman, or what do you think it is?
no, I think the primarily the first thing that got us together were our health issues, our separate health issues. And then I feel that we did click because of the similarity of the coming from a country where French is also one of the languages. So in that way, a language reflects a culture. And so we felt a cultural bond there immediately, plus the fact that we both realized that it is not easy to come to a country that is not yours and to have to adopt and adapt and yeah, start kind of all over again. Yeah.
And we have a lot of expectations. I mean, there are a lot of expectations from women, but also from women immigrants or immigrants in general. I mean,
Yeah.
what is it that I'm curious to know? What did you feel like was the biggest expectation from you when you first moved here? And then after time, as it becomes your home. I mean, is it different, or do you feel that people still expect from you the same thing?
No. I think there's some kind of allure and attraction from Americans towards Europeans. So in that sense, I was kind of lucky because they were always curious on what my lifestyle was back home. And they do have a tendency to look at it as if it's something perfect and wonderful, where we're always smiling all the time and life is so much more relaxed, and which it actually is for sure. But so I had that one side, but then on the other side, I also had to adapt to the fastness of American society and having children, also having to raise my kids in a way that was more American than European, whereas I was really trying hard to do it the European way. And I have succeeded also in doing that to some extent. What about you? What were your difficulties that you encountered?
Well, I feel that when I first moved to the US, which was 21 years ago, things were a little bit different in Washington. People were not, even though it's a cosmopolitan city, it has so many diplomats, as you know, international people, very well educated people. People were not really that exposed yet to Lebanon or so many countries in the Middle East, or had just stereotypical ideas about them. So it was a lot of effort trying to educate people or inform them on, how you lived as a woman in Lebanon, and why I am like that, or because they had a very, very different ideas. And then they also had different ideas of, just assumptions on maybe what I'm expecting, what I'm dreaming of, my dreams, that like they were surprised, oh, you want to just work, or you really care about your work and not just about like, getting married, starting a family. So it's all labels and stereotypes, which also my culture does. I'm not saying they don't. As a woman, if you're not getting married and having children, then you're definitely someone who doesn't want to. And you're definitely someone who is just enjoying her career and is really, very aggressive on her career path, which is not true. Sometimes, things are the way, this is life, this is what happens. So it's that, but you feel in the course of work that you are expected to give more as an immigrant, as a woman, that as though it's not like it's charity, but you feel like as though you're taking in the old days, at least, like as though you're taking someone's opportunity, but you're not, because ever since I moved to the US, my career was in international media, so there was always a place for me for international people. And we've seen after 20 years what happened to the world with globalization. No one really lives home. Everyone works abroad, everyone lives abroad. And then the last thing that happened that hit humanity to really interact with each other was COVID and the lockdown, and just
Yeah,
people from all over the world were singing and dancing together. So it shows you that, yeah, that's what I was looking for 21 years ago.
yeah,
A
yeah,
little more understanding. But
yeah,
I think, once like aside of that, it's the challenges of like now the new challenges are really hitting midlife.
yes,
It's
yes.
a whole new chapter
Both of us as women. Yeah,
as women. And
yeah.
and I mean, you're ahead a few years. So
About a decade, yes.
but so please like tell me what's waiting for me.
I
How
don't
to
think
deal
there
with
is
those
any way
changes.
that you can prepare. There is no way that you can prepare for what's coming. I cannot even prepare for what's coming in the 60s. And I was actually thinking, originally, we had thought of doing it women in their 40s, 50s. But then I had a few friends of mine who said, yeah, what about us? We're in our early 60s and we feel lost and we feel kind of ignored in society as well. And then our question is, or will be in one of our conversations, why is that?
Yes.
Why do we feel from this age onwards that we've kind of become invincible?
And also, I mean, I have, for instance, friends who are younger than me in their mid-30s, moms with children. They have enough maturity, then they started feeling those things left behind, labeled as just a mom, labeled as already like, oh, you're approaching 40, so you're not going to be married, you're not going to have just labels. People give you expiration dates on so many different things of your life based on, stereotypes and what they see from the outside. And I guess what we're trying to do here is, to break these barriers and really just speak out loud what we go through. Let's talk a little bit. Maybe you want to start, or I could, about what we really hope this to be, and the kind of subjects we want to discuss and how we intend to do it.
Yes. So our intention is really to focus on how do women of our age view love? How do they look upon life? How do they look upon love, their health, friendships? Are they carers, whether it is for children or whether it is for family members? What about our mental health? You can add on some, Ninar.
Yes,
That's
I
kind of
think
on.
yes, for instance, and not to just add the subject, but to say that we want to try and do it in a different way. I mean, no one needs just another podcast, and
No.
there's many of them. I think
Yes.
what's going to be different about it is our unique experience, our friendship, but also the fact that, and because this is something we agreed upon when we discussed different topics, that, for instance, Katrien and I take certain topics in a light way, in a humorous way. There's no need for drama around everything. And because for that kind of drama, there's a lot of mainstream shows and there's a lot of content on the internet. We don't want to preach, we don't want to give medical advice. We just want to say what works for us, but we want to add a sense of humor. We want to add a sense of, you know, uh, the art of being women. Like, what is it? We're going to sort of indirectly and subtly have an angle on that in the different subjects we're going to discuss, from film and beauty to lifestyle to, preparing yourself for summer to culture to travel,
Diets.
how, how
Diets.
you can be, how you can stay a woman, carry yourself as a woman in the toughest situations when you're angry or when you're doing your corporate job surrounded by men, things that either are not covered or are covered in a very dramatic way, even within the health and mental health subjects. We want to try and laugh at it because otherwise we both learned that if we don't, it will like kill us.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to try and do. And because we're just starting and we both have different commitments, it's going to be slow progress. So bear with us
Yeah.
and be
Yeah. Be
patient.
patient.
And we
But
invite you to,
also, go ahead.
yes. No, I was just going to add, everyone can still message us on social media, and we can, share your stories, whether anonymously or not. I mean, even if we're going to be doing just 1 or 2 shows a month as a start, but you can always be in touch with us, and we also need your support. So if you can invite people to mainly the show is going to be on YouTube, to subscribe to the channel and really watch it there,
Yeah.
then this will help build the community, and this will give us a sense of fulfillment that what we're doing is actually helping someone.
Yeah. And I think it's very important what you point out there. We are inviting everybody to please send us messages or share your stories so we can incorporate that in the topics that we will be discussing. We will shed a light every time what is going to be next on the agenda, so you also know what we're going to talk about. I just wanted to pick up on our title that we chose, The Art of Being a Woman.
Yes.
And it is actually really an art to be a woman. We have to reinvent ourselves all the time. There are so many demands that are put on us from society that we feel we have to reinvent ourselves all the time. And we have to put and mold ourselves in these different functions in society that it has become a real art to be a woman.
And because there are expectations, and then expectations and reinvention can be
Yeah.
risky because you can lose your identity, you can lose your
Yeah.
dreams, you can lose you know, you can lose sight of your hopes and your ambitions. So you really it is a difficult art, if I may add. And but also, if you really look into it and work on it, you'll see that you don't need to lose your identity,
No.
that you remaining true to yourself will force
Yes.
people and society to respect you for
Yeah.
what you are. And I think, not that we're discussing this subject now, but to your point on, you were asking, for instance, why do actresses or certain women or
Uh-huh.
actresses like stop receiving jobs at a
Yeah.
certain age?
Yeah.
I think because
Yeah.
society and mainly men uh, have an expiration date on beauty, and they have
Yeah.
an expiration date on giving. So the age, and
Yeah.
they all know that a woman is a giver because a woman gives
Yeah.
life.
Woman
So if
cares.
you don't have children, or if comes to a certain age and you're not able to give children, then you're no longer a giver to them. Same for
Yeah.
beauty, but actually we give a lot more than that. We are half
Yeah.
of the society. So our giving job
Yeah.
is not just
Yeah.
those two things, which are, and I count as number two, beauty, other
Yeah.
than children, because I think that a woman ignites magic in this world.
Yeah. And what
So
is beauty anyway? There's this, oh,
exactly.
a woman should look like this or a woman should look like that. And when you're in your 50s, you can't have your long hair anymore. And Lord knows what else is out there, which we just want to try and debunk some of those beliefs. And so, yes, again, we invite you to share your thoughts and opinions on those things as well.
We just saw Demi Moore looking gorgeous in her 60s with
Yeah.
long hair. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
And yes, I mean, when I'm 60, I still want to have long hair. So no, but honestly, we have in mind a list of topics that I believe will really be of interest to so many different categories of women, not just from various ages, but from various backgrounds, with various interests. And as we go, we will always, see like cater to any current topic coming up, or something
Yeah.
really big that needs to be discussed that happened. We will stay current
Yeah.
with the news, and men are invited as well to watch us. We
Absolutely.
won't be attacking them. We're not here to attack men
No,
or to create any
no,
labels or
no.
stereotypes.
They're gorgeous creatures as well, just like
Men
we are
are
gorgeous creatures.
there are brothers, there are our partners, there are our husbands, there are friends,
Yeah.
there are sons. So
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
just want to celebrate being women and point out how we together can really support each other. And that's something I learned really much later in my life, because I think that I spent a lot of time worrying about the jealousy among women,
Yeah.
But maybe later in one of the shows we'll discuss
We can talk
how
about that.
how
Yes.
worse it is when a man is jealous of a
Yeah.
woman,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
So to round it all up,
Yes.
I think we can both agree that one of our resolutions of the new year is to create this show and to be able to help and support as many women out there who are trying to navigate the complexities of life.
Yes.
My other resolution, very quickly, is, as so many of you know, I've been battling chronic illness for the past 3 years now. And my big, big, big resolution is to just keep on getting better so that I can come closer and closer to the way that I used to be. And Ninar, why don't you share your resolution with us now before we go?
Yes, so I will be quick. Katrien, as you know, I'm more into a word of the year rather than a resolution. I
Yeah,
feel that it's less overwhelming for me, and I feel that when you share it with others, you also sound, you know, like it's attainable. Last year, it was
yeah,
self-care in
uh-huh.
2024 because I was also battling a health crisis. And it felt after an entire year of self-reflection and self-therapy and self-care that the word really helped. It really did guide everything I did. So what felt like what I needed this year was courage. And that's why my word of the year is courage. It felt that everything I still need to do or continue doing, really, I had a weakness in it. I have a weakness in it, and I just have to fight more. So it felt like I needed courage. So I hope that, and one of the things I'm being courageous about is really coming out here and being with all of you people who can see us and who we cannot see. So
Yeah,
I hope this brings courage and a smile to someone who needs it.
perfect. So we're all ready to start next week, and we will keep you posted. I guess we'll
Yes.
see you next time, and I hope that as many as possible of you can join us.
We're going to see you in February, which is the month of
Yeah.
love.
That is the month of love, so that already shares
Send us
some
your love
idea
stories, maybe.
what we're going to talk about. Yes, maybe
Yeah.
you can send us some of your love stories and we can
Inspire
share.
us.
Absolutely. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Well, Katrien,
Thank
thanks a
you,
lot.
Nina.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone, for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.